talking about online dating recently.
When it comes to online dating, there are certain precautions that need to be taken, as far as safety. In your opinion, do you think if you're online dating, is it, safe to, like how we would before, hey, pick me up at 7, here's my address, or, talk about what do you do for work, where you work, things like that. Because you don't know this person, and you're talking to a total stranger. So, what do you think about situations like that, as far as online dating and safety, especially in this day and age?
That's a great point. I haven't gone on like a lot of online dates. I think I've been on a couple, but like anytime that I've ever decided to go online to date somebody, I definitely would have like a video conference call first. DM's a little different because you're seeing more of their profile and their interactions, I think, than online dating profiles. But like even still, I think like I would have to do like some video conferences, like usually more than one, and kind of get comfortable. And I also feel like that allows you to talk to somebody and kind of pick their brain and see like kind of what their interests are. Because you can kind of eliminate a lot of the things that you may need to uncover just maybe getting on a video chat and talking to somebody face to face, and like first seeing if you have chemistry, but also like asking certain questions that they may not reveal over like a text online. That has pretty much eliminated even the opportunity to date somebody online, because usually I find that there's like not really a similar interest there. But if we're moving beyond that and the video call, went great, and I decided to go out with the person, I definitely always send the information to like my family members and my friends. Like I'll tell them I'm going on a date, like what restaurant or wherever I'm meeting. I would never ever do it in a non-public place. So if I was going to meet somebody, if it happened to be from a DM or it happened to be from like an online site or something like that, we definitely would have to go to a public place. I would definitely let people know like that I was going with this person, I was meeting with this person, and like where I met this person, that person's name. You had mentioned like some things about like precautions that you could take, like with approaching somebody that you're dating online.
Well, like you said, the video conference, that can eliminate, if you're even going to meet up with the person, in general, you'll know from that video call if you like the person, if you do want to get to know them a little more. So that's a good idea. I do think public places, if you're going to meet someone that you met online and you don't really know that person, I think a public place is always safe. Personally, I would not, let the person pick me up or send a car for me, any of those things. I would make sure to drive, or, if I know I'm going to have some drinks, maybe, take a Lyft or Uber there. But definitely, I think it's good until you really do know that person to keep your privacy, as far as like your home, things like that, where you work. I think it's important to be safe when it comes to things like that, just to protect yourself. I had mentioned to you before about sharing locations with family members. And when it comes to things like that, like you said, those certain precautions, that is a precaution. Because, when you go out with a new guy, how we used to do, oh, I'm going to take a picture of his license plate, girl, and I'm sending it to you. He's coming to pick me up. I share my location with a large group of my family. A couple of my friends have it, and I think it's a very useful tool, and especially with children and stuff too, because I definitely have my son's location as well as my siblings, so I know that they're safe. I can just tap in, see what's going on, check in, throughout the day, make sure everybody looks like they're where they're supposed to be. I don't have to worry if I didn't see any addresses that I don't know. Now, I started sharing locations with one of my closest cousins. And me and her really started that because, we were young, we were in our early 20s. We used to go on, dates, different things like that. We would take trips. And I really do think that that is something, people should think about when it comes to, safety, to sharing locations. But I've heard like a flip side of sharing locations too, because I have certain people that don't like to share their locations. and they kind of like are against it, and not like for a bad reason, but it's it's their privacy, and that's their right. They don't have to share their location. They're grown. They can do what they want. How do you feel about sharing location with family or friends, or what would you say about like relationship wise? What if the guy you're dating, you guys, are pretty serious, and he says, "Hey, can you share your location?" Would that be a red flag for you, or do you think that you'd be okay with that? Or if I told you one day, "Hey T, I know you said you were going out state, you're going to take that trip. Friend, share your location with me because I just want to know you're safe." Would you take it differently coming from me, or is it kind of the same to you to where you feel you want to be more private? But let me know about the male aspect, of course, because I want to know how you feel about sharing location with the person you're dating.
For safety purposes, sharing location with like family members is cool. Like I think ultimately, people know where you are, they know where to find you if anything happens, and things like that. It's an extra precaution to be safe. But like, yeah, woo, my radar went off when you asked about a man asking if he could have my location. Like, like, I think the only time that I would really just champion that is like if it was like a husband and wife scenario. If it was my husband, we were married, and he's like, I just want my wife to be safe, and I just want to know, that my wife's all right, and if anything happens, I feel like there's more at stake with that happening because we have a longer term commitment, a lifetime commitment, and it's a little bit different. I feel like we do have that kind of that responsibility with one another, and maybe we share a family, things of that nature, so it makes sense, right? But like if I had a boyfriend or like somebody that I was dating that was asking me that, I think I kind of see that like as a means of control, and I don't like control very much. Like I don't like to feel like somebody gets to dictate like what I can do or how I do it. Now if I volunteer it, like I'm traveling, wherever, I want to give you my location, so then yeah, cool, I volunteered that. But like if a man was just to be like, oh, you're going out, like, can you send me your location? Like I don't know how I feel about that. And it's funny because I think most people would take that as like, well, are you trying to hide something? Or, like, why don't you want me to know where you are? But for me, it's like, I'm an adult and I don't necessarily want to be tracked like everywhere that I go. And I feel like once you set that precedent and a man feels like he can do that, I'd almost be questioning like how often is he going to want to do that? How often is he going to want to ask that? And I also think to a certain extent, like that could increase an issue with trust. Like say, for example, you tell a guy you're going out somewhere and then you and your friends change your mind and you decide to go somewhere else, and he sees your location elsewhere. It could kind of lead to like asking questions about like why you said you were going to be at this place but now you're somewhere else. I don't know, the idea of that kind of rubs me the wrong way, so I'm not like a fan of it. But I guess like if I ever cross that with somebody, we'd have to talk about it. To be honest with you, I don't think a man has ever asked me to do that. How do you feel about sharing your location with like somebody that you're dating or your significant other?
I don't recall me ever really sharing my location. No, I don't think I shared my location with someone that I was in a relationship with before. I am not against it. I do it now. To be honest, in my relationship I'm in now, he does have my location, which is totally fine to me because of the space that we're in. Um, and we do talk a lot. And from day to day, I don't really go anywhere that I think that he would question. Work, home, with my family, maybe to an event here and there. But, we talk so much. He knows where I'm at a majority of the time. And when we did start sharing locations, it wasn't there was nothing negative about it. It was another, safety type thing. Um, I was going out of town and was getting on the road. And I was like, I volunteered it actually. I was like, I'm gonna share my location so you know where it's safe. And he was like, all right. So me myself, I am all for it. I just I don't want it to turn into a control thing, of course. And I can see how, for some people it could be, or they do use it as a control thing, which that is to me not okay. Like I said, we started it for safety reasons, and that's what I think sharing location should be for. Not because you want to know where that person is every minute of the day, or you want to control where they go or dictate where they go, because that's not going to happen. I'm an adult. I'm going to go where I want to go, do what I want to do. You do the same thing. Don't think because I have your location you can't go certain places, or you have to try to lie about where you're going. You're free to move about as you want to. Do I trust the person I'm dating? Yes, and I hope they trust me too. But it's a safety thing for me. And if I ever felt it was turning into a control thing, that location's getting turned off for sure. Because I'm not a child. Like, you're not checking my location because you have some type of control over me. That right there, that's a no. I'm just all for sharing locations when it comes to making sure the person is okay and for safety reasons only. And me and my cousins, we might joke about it, and my friends will look at each other's locations. Even my sisters will look like, hey, what you doing here? If we see an address, we're not familiar with, what you doing over there? And my sister, especially her, she'll reply back, stalker much? I'll be like, yep. Or I'll hit her with the eyes, the little emoji eyes, like, what's going on? Hey, what you doing? But it's just a safety thing. But it's never supposed to be a control thing. And I think in a relationship, if you're trying to use the locations for controlling someone, that is definitely that's a red flag. But yeah, I'm all for sharing locations. I like it. I think it's cute.
Well, I don't know, fellas, ladies, leave us some comments. We have to talk about this. How do we feel about sharing locations with our partners, or somebody that we're dating, our significant other? How do we feel about it? I'm gonna vote nay.
Okay, so you're going with no. You're going with thumbs down.
I'm going thumbs down on this one. I'm not down for sharing my location.
So you guys give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up for sharing locations, thumbs down, and maybe tell us why. Do you think it's a control thing, or do you guys think like the safety thing? You just want to know. But yeah, definitely talk in with us, you guys. Let us know what you guys think. Thumbs up for sharing locations, thumbs down for it. It's not gonna happen.
All right. So speaking of this, I've got something else for you. Now you're a proponent for sharing your location. So I'm gonna ask you this one. It's a little bit taboo. How do you feel about sharing your passcode? Your passcode with your significant other. How do you feel about that?
Thumbs down. It's not gonna happen. That's a total invasion of privacy. You're not getting the password to my phone, my email, anything like that. You don't need it. This is my stuff. Now, it's enough you got my location. Now you want the password to my phone? Ah, man, come on now. I don't even really have, I can't say really, but I don't have anything to hide. So you don't need to go through my phone. I think that is a total invasion of privacy. Stay out my phone. And I will be honest, I went through a phone before, and that is not okay. You will stress yourself out trying to look through someone's phone. When you go looking for dirt, you will find it no matter what it is. You will make something out of nothing. So I think going through phones, that's a big no-no. I've done it before, to be honest, and the relationship was not okay after that. I was looking for something. So, and it wasn't even big what I found, but it was big enough. And there have been times to where I went through 2 phones. Just to keep it real, I went through two phones. And both times it was bad. Second time, terrible. terrible. I was sick. Sick. You want to lose some weight, ladies? Go through that man's phone. Okay? You want to lose some weight? You think you need to get in the gym? You don't even got to go in the gym.
It's a new diet plan.
It's a diet plan. You want to lose 20 pounds? Go through that man's phone. No. But don't go through that man's phone. Don't do that. That's like I said, it's total invasion of privacy. I do know people who share passwords and stuff like that, and that's cool for them, to each his own. Me, myself, I don't think I need it. I want to trust my mate enough to where I feel that I don't need to go through your phone. And, like that old saying goes, what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. So anything that is meant for me to know, that's meant for me, is going to always be for me. And if there's some information, if someone's moving foul and there's something that I need to be hip on, I'll find it out. But I'm not going to find it out by going through their phone because, again, that's an invasion of privacy. It's not my business what you talk about with your friends and your family. Those are your relationships, your conversations. And also, too, going through someone's phone and you're looking at them and, their close friends or family, what they're talking about. What if the close friend or family member is telling something about them and their business? And now you know something that you're not supposed to know. That's none of your business. You have no right to know, So I think that's a big thing too, because there has to be some type of boundary, that needs to be respected. What about you? Have you had someone go through your phone before, or have you been Inspector Gadget and wanted to go look through?
Yeah, I've been on both sides of it. I've had somebody ask me if they can go through my phone and my exes while we're sitting like in a car side by side with one another. And I actually gave him my phone. I'm for a really long time. I didn't lock my phone. So, it wasn't even about giving somebody the passcode. Like, I didn't even lock my phone. Like, it was just like enter at your own risk. Like, I always felt like I was never really like a super secretive, partner. It just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to say I'm the perfect partner because I'm sure I'm definitely not, but I was never like a super secretive partner. So it was kind of like, hey, if you find it, you find it. If you spot it, you spot it, whether you feel that it's okay or not. And I never locked my phone. It was one particular time though that I was like sitting in the passenger seat of my boyfriend at the time's car, and he was like, can I see your phone? And I was like, why do you want to see my phone? He was like, I just want to see your phone. I want to look through your phone. And I was like, okay, but just keep in mind, like whatever you see in there, like that's what it is, right? So I handed him my phone. I let him go through my phone. And the irony of it was I asked him for his, and he refused to give me the phone. I mean, it was like, it turned into like, a full-blown argument. And I was like, wow, like, so you would ask me for mine, but you don't want to give me yours. So I already knew, like, it was evident what the situation was, but I thought that was interesting. And I think he really just only asked me that because he thought that I was going to say no. But the reality was I always kind of felt like I didn't really have too much to hide. So now I think it's more about space. Now that I've gotten older, I feel like it's more about space and privacy. So I feel like if a person's asking me that, I want to know, like, why do they want to invade like my privacy or my private space? I'm not a fan of women going through men's phones or people going through their partner's phones. But I have done it like once or twice. And you definitely, like you said, if you seek, you shall find. If you go through that phone, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to find something that you probably don't want to see. But I have done it. I think I'm in the space that I'm in now. It's not something that I really feel like I want to do, but there are times when there are people that are not transparent enough where they probably, you ask questions over and over, but they may make you feel like you're not really getting the answers that you need. And I think that sometimes what puts people, in a space to do that. But I've actually told girlfriends of mine that have gone through like a man's phone, like, you shouldn't do it. I don't think that it's something you should do because it's like, it's a violation of trust, to be honest. And once you do that, it's hard to go back to that on both sides. If you violate a person's privacy or space, they're always going to remember that you did that. If you go through somebody's phone or emails and you find something, you're never going to be able to really let that go. So it's detrimental on both sides. I think the best way to approach a relationship is to have full transparency and honesty and be able to trust what your partner is telling you. But that's a foundation that you have to build for sure. How do you feel about it?
I feel the same. To me, it's a trust thing. Like you mentioned, your ex-partner, asked you to see your phone. You gave it up, transparent. What you see is what you see. What you don't, it may not have been anything for him to see, but the fact that you gave up your phone, and he wouldn't give up his, that was big right there. That spoke volumes. I'm sure that told you a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do think, like I said, it's a total invasion of privacy, and it's really a trust thing. If you don't trust your partner and you feel like you need to go through their phone, then that's an issue. Maybe a conversation that needs to be had. Maybe you just tell the person, how you're feeling, like, hey, I think there's some things that we need to get out there. I got something I need to get off my chest. If you have some suspicions, I would rather someone tell me, that they have suspicions so we can talk about, why they feel they can't trust me or what I'm doing that would make them think, that I'm doing something unsavory behind their back. But I don't want someone to feel like they need to go through my thing. I want my partner to trust me enough to know that I'm not a cheater or, a liar. Because I've had not even someone go through my phone. Like, I had someone, like, go through my Apple Watch while we were dating. And that's, like, my watch? I'll tell you, I've had a password on that watch ever since. I just now I'm like that PTSD, can't trust nothing. I don't want nobody touching my stuff. Don't look through my stuff. Everything is private. I don't want you looking at no conversations, none whatsoever. That's my business. But yeah, I think it's a trust thing for me, because if I feel like I can't trust you, I don't need to go through your phone to prove that I can't trust you. I trust my feelings and how the energy I get. And when I feel something's off, 9 times out of 10, I'm right. My intuition is spot on about things. So it's a big trust thing for me. And if you can't trust your partner, those are conversations that need to be had, not snooping through someone's phone to, try to find some information. Because like we said, you go looking for dirt, you're going to find it. So like with the sharing passwords, and locations, would you guys let us know too with our followers, is there certain passwords you would share? Or even like for you, T, is there certain password you would share? Like maybe, you got your phone, password, you give that up. But what about like your emails? You have business things in there. You have, all kind of things like from the government, from banks, different things like that. Like, is there a limit on the type of password you think you could share with your partner? Or if they got one password, they might as well have them all? What do you think?
Yeah, again, I think for me, it comes down to like, if I was married to someone, this is my lifetime partner, and we have a mutual stake in our lives with each other. That's different, because I feel like there shouldn't really be any secrets in a marriage. So financial, movements should be open, business movements should be open, financial transactions or, responsibilities, things of that nature. Those are not things that I think need to be hidden from, a marriage. So I think if I was, in a situation like that, I could kind of understand if like my husband and I kind of agreed that like those things would be mutually open. But I would say more so like in the event that we need to access something, opposed to just like us like constantly, checking in on, what each other is doing, online or on the email or on our phones, or it just, I would say more so like maybe a precaution, or even just in the event that one person isn't able to handle something, the other person can kind of take that over, and has access to those accounts. But since you mentioned that, in relationship to a couple, I saw a video about this and I want to play this because this was an interesting take. I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of want to see what you think about this particular situation.
Yeah, let me see. Let's get into it.
Do you think couples should share their phone passwords with each other?
Yeah, for sure. I don't have any issue with it. I have nothing to hide on my phone. You have literally the same phone password as me. Whenever I had an iPhone that had a thumbprint, you had the thumbprint password like on both hands on my phone. So I have no issue. I have literally nothing to hide from you.
They basically have the same passwords to their devices, which like I found a little bit odd in my opinion. So essentially they were saying they both didn't have an issue sharing it. They put the same passwords on each other's phone and on each other's devices, and they're able to access their information simultaneously. How do you feel about making a mutual agreement to do that?
No, we're not doing that. It's a huge, heavy on the no. Heavy. Like Thor, hammer, Mjolnir, whatever, heavy on the no. You're not getting the password to my phone. That's my phone. It's my business. Like he said, I don't have nothing to hide. And I don't have anything to hide. If I volunteer to show you my phone, then, I'll volunteer to show you my phone. I don't have anything to hide. At the same time, I have boundaries. And me and my best friend's conversation, me and my cousin, me and my child, me and my siblings, whoever, me and my parents, whatever we're talking about and we're discussing, they may be confiding in me about certain things that are not my boyfriend's business. Just like with his family, things like that. They may be talking about, their business, anything that could go on with them. It's not my business. That's not my husband. I don't have any rights to his phone. I'm not his wife. He doesn't have rights to my thing. That's a big no for me. You're not getting the password to my phone. We're not setting it up as the same thing. You can't have my phone for the day, anything like that. And no, it's not because I'm sneaky and have anything to hide. It's because that is my property. I pay that phone bill and I have boundaries, and that's one of them. I want you to respect my boundaries. And if a person feels like they can't respect my boundaries and they really just have to have that password, that's a real deal breaker for me. But no, I'm heavy on the no. No. What do you think? Are you going to set up that same password?
That's definitely not. I'm definitely not sharing the same passwords with somebody. This is basically how I feel about that.
Like she said, I don't see it. I feel what she's saying. Put a ring on it. If we're doing that, then like you said, about marriage, like boyfriend or girlfriend, I think they need to have some boundaries. If we're married, then yeah, we've taken this vow before God and everyone who showed up to the party. Yeah, I think there needs to be, a ring on it.